went to a conference recently and the subject of the drinking age came up. And a psychologist that's very well known in this city gave this brilliant material on what happens in the hypothalamus of the brain when a young person is drinking. It really does biologically affect the brain, and even if the kid survives still smart, you know that he's been brought down a peg or two from what his potential was through that. And he made it very clear. He said this is so. He also said that as a secular psychologist that it annoyed him that people dismissed religion so easily because the evidence is overwhelming that if a kid's embedded in some sort of community of faith that nurtures and looks after him, he's far less likely to be at risk in this area. And he said that should be taken notice of by the sociologists and the psychologists. When he'd done that, I put up my hand in this meeting and I said, when I was doing my degree, I lived in the South in the US. And while we were in America, the state of Kentucky changed the law because so many young people were killing themselves and maiming themselves in alcohol-related accidents, automobile accidents, because they get their license a bit earlier in America and they get out there, you know, and when it comes to the prom night, they just go ballistic and prom night becomes slaughter night. Well, they said, this is not good enough, and the adults said 21 years of age, which is probably still marginal, but it's probably about right for a woman. For blokes, we take a bit longer to develop, probably we should be 25. But whatever, they changed the law and made it illegal to drink younger than 21. Now, that had a dramatic, lasting, absolutely devastating effect on the statistics in the state of Kentucky. Kids were not killing themselves anymore because the mixture of alcohol and inexperience and the kind of hubris that a society has developed tweenies and teenagers instead of developing through stages of adulthood meant disaster in the decision-making behaviour of the young people. So I actually said in this way, why don't we do that? And you know what the answer was? The whole of the committee in this thing, and there was somebody high up in the police force, there was the psychologist that actually looks after alcohol-related problems in the Australian Football League. I mean, these were top people in the committee. The whole lot of them agreed it should be so. One of them was a very famous footballer in the team I barracked for, but they all agreed that this should be so, but they said, oh, we couldn't get away with it politically. Now I say, if our culture is in the kind of danger it is, why is it that they're willing to take an act against bikers who, quite frankly, are minuscule in this area of violence on Saturday night? They're tribal people that mostly look after their own stuff. Why is it we won't make moves about the slaughterhouse that's going on in this country at the end of the bar on Saturday nights? I just think it's disgraceful. And that's not because I'm some sort of narrow-minded religious bigot. That's because I love kids. And I've lived a lifetime of watching our culture collapse and watching it giving up on having the guts to stand for values that will preserve human life, not restrict human life, but preserve and nurture and encourage creative human life. Because most young people, if you're not allowed to drink at 21 years of age, school is weak as a disastrous, wrong path into adulthood would end. Simple as that. Because kids wouldn't be out there drinking like crazy if they could be arrested. The bars wouldn't be willing to serve it to them if they knew they were going to be closed down, if there was a willingness to do something about it. Most parents, many of whom now are besieged, everybody else is doing it. Well, at least if I give my kids just a little bit of booze, then it won't, you know, they'll control it then because they know we're not saying no. That's such nonsense. What kind of message is it?